watching ZoomFest 2020, a goodly frame theater production inspired by theater creatives and dedicated to sharing stories in a new way, because all the world's a stage. Welcome to Episode 3. Our stories today are A Present for the Present by George Jack, Not a Dark and Stormy Night by Connie Dinkler, and Tera by Randy Morris.
Sweetheart, are you there? I think I got the right channel.
Hello?
Lisa, are you there? I can't see you very well.
I'm here, Paul. I'm Lisa.
Oh, honey, can you adjust your settings? You're very snowy.
Let me see what I can do. How's that?
Who are you?
I'm Lisa. I did get the right year, didn't I?
Excuse me, ma'am. Lisa is my girlfriend. She's 21, like me. I'm 21. I'm sorry, but you're not 21.
Well, not anymore.
Well, ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm trying to have a video date with my girlfriend, and I must have gotten the wrong address on the internet.
No, you're in the right place. Oh, Paul, it is so wonderful to see you again.
Do I know you?
You did. Once.
I'm sorry, but I'm confused.
And you're still very sweet. I'm sorry. Oh, crap. I'm losing it again.
Ma'am, tonight is my girlfriend's birthday, and I promised I would talk to her on this website. Now, if I've got the wrong one, I need to disconnect.
We'll talk to her later, Paul. But right now, you've got to listen to me.
Why?
Because I want what we never had together.
Okay, I'm going to go now. This has been interesting.
You have a tattoo on your left shoulder. It's a panda.
I like pandas. But how?
You cry when you watch Field of Dreams.
Everyone cries when they watch Field of Dreams.
When the stay-at-home orders are lifted and the coronavirus is in the past, you're planning to propose to me. And I'm here to make sure that happens.
How do you know all this?
Because I know, Paul. I know that you want to make tonight special for Lisa. I remember the stay-at-home orders. I remember the coronavirus. I remember being young and stupid and thinking that nothing could hurt me, that nothing could stop us. I remember the dinners you fixed for me, that you're going to fix for me, for Lisa, later tonight. And next week, when you keep sneaking over to see me. And I remember what happens after that. How you're going to get sick. And how I'm going to lose you, Paul. Paul, I'm the Lisa that would have married you.
If I may ask, how old are you?
I lost you 30 years ago.
So what? You're from 2050?
Yes, I'm here. I'm in the future.
You're from our future.
Not our future.
Then where am I? In your future.
You're dead, Paul.
Honey, I am so sorry. I lost track of time. I was talking to my aunt on the phone, and then I wanted... Oh, hi. We've got company.
Yeah, apparently. Allow me to introduce you to you.
Now, this is weird. I shouldn't be remembering this part. It's like my present is filling in my past. I'm making new memories. I'm making new 30-year-old memories.
Huh?
My God, look at me. I mean, not a wrinkle in sight. And I haven't even started dyeing my hair yet.
Hey.
Oh, so many possibilities. My whole future in front of me.
Do I know you?
Hang on.
I'm you, Lisa. I'm from the future. Lisa from the future. Future.
Oh, Paul.
And I need to talk to both of you about something very important.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but I don't understand.
Ma'am, you know what makes me feel old? Hearing people call me ma'am. Do you know what makes me feel ancient? Hearing myself call me ma'am. Please stop.
Lisa. Younger Lisa. Sorry, early Lisa? It's simple. I'm dead. You're doubled. And it's your birthday now, sugar.
As you might imagine, I'm having a hard time believing this.
Oh, for crying out loud. Okay. I will now talk to myself. You have a tattoo on your ankle. It's in Chinese. You think that it says Wonder Woman. As you will find out later, it does not.
But they said it did.
Paul cries when he watches Field of Dreams. You laugh at him when he cries when he watches Field of Dreams, but not in front of him.
Hey!
Hey,
And if you don't listen to me, you won't stay together.
but why don't we stay together? I love Paul and he loves me.
Yeah, I do.
But if Paul does what he's thinking of doing tonight and next week, and again after that, in a matter of weeks, he'll be dead.
Yep. She keeps saying that.
Do you believe her?
Well, she does seem to know a lot of what, you know.
What's he gonna do that's so bad?
He's going to risk his life for you, to be with you, with us.
Is that such a bad thing to do?
Yes. Oh, my lovely, lovely young people. You don't know how much of a future you have until it's not there anymore. I loved a man. I loved him like no other. We made so many plans. We couldn't stand to be apart. And then we had to be. We had the whole world in front of us, the whole future. But the present, it was harder to live there.
I would never intentionally do anything to hurt her.
I know that. And she knows that. But you're planning on sneaking over to see her tonight, aren't you?
I might have been.
And again next week? And again? And again?
But I'll be careful.
But you won't be alone. Because every time you sneak over to see her, you're going to run into people along the way, each and every time. And they will already be sick. And that's how you'll pick up what you pick up. The coronavirus. You won't mean to. But then you will leave me, and we will never get married, and we will never have children, and I will be all alone.
Ugh. Paul, I don't want that future.
You don't want him to do any of that, do you?
No. No, I don't. I can wait weeks if it means years to come. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but come on.
Do you love her, Paul?
Yes, of course I do.
Do you want to be with her forever?
Yes, absolutely.
Even if she ends up looking like me?
Of course, I love her, and I will love you. Man, it feels like I'm cheating on at least one of you.
And if you love us, Paul, will you do us a favor?
Anything, what?
Stay away from us! For at least a little while.
Wow, you've never yelled at me before.
Just wait.
But won't your future be different?
Well, This is the past I want. For the future I want. For us, for all three of us.
But I mean, won't you, the you that you are now, won't you disappear?
Sooner than you think.
Wow. I mean, wow.
I love you, Paul. I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to think about this.
Good. You're not forgetting anything, are you? Da, 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 da.
Oh my god, Lisa!
Da.
Happy birthday!
Thanks.
I guess it was older Lisa's birthday too, and we didn't sing.
Oh, we will in about 30 years.
I do love you, Lisa.
And you can just keep on saying that for 30 years and then some.
Tell you what, I'm gonna go think about all this, and then I'm going to plan the biggest party ever that we're going to have. But later on.
Sounds good.
Good night, sweetheart.
Good night, my love.
Is he gone?
Yeah, he just signed off.
Oh, he's a sweet guy.
What can I say? Aunt Sally. Aunt Sally, you are the best.
I try. Do you think he'll be more careful?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I want to keep him around.
Good. Now, you know, if he proposes, and there's a wedding, he's going to meet me eventually. And Aunt Sally is going to look an awful lot like future Lisa. What are you going to tell him then?
That I take after your side of the family.
Well, he might get really, really angry.
Maybe, but he'll be really, really mine.
Good morning, Mary. How are you today?
Very well, Dr. Singleton. I hope you are.
Yes, thank you for asking. I know these online sessions are not ideal, but we'll just have to make the best of it. So, tell me, Mary, are you ready to tell me what happened?
Yes, I am, Dr. Singleton.
Okay, then why don't you start from the beginning?
Okay. Well, it wasn't a dark and stormy night.
It wasn't a dark and stormy night?
No.
And what made you feel you had to preface your story by saying it wasn't a dark and stormy night?
Because that's always how these kinds of stories start. And I want to tell my story the way it actually was, not what everyone expects of me.
Okay, that's perfectly fine, Mary. You tell your story how you see fit.
That is what I intend to do. It wasn't a dark and stormy night. It was a cool, misty February night, right before the rain. I remember it like an Alfred Hitchcock movie or an old love story, right before the two lovers part forever. The drivers on the highway made their way to their destination, each one lost in personal thought and obligation, unaware of the lifeless body that was inside the trunk of the Mazda on the side of the road that was very much alive, that person, just hours earlier. But one rarely stops to ponder the contents of neighboring vehicles on their way home. Do you?
I suppose not. But Mary, you said something about a lifeless body?
Of course you don't. There's only this senseless need to go from point to point to point just to retrace the exact same steps the very next day. Why?
That's a very good question, Mary. Why do you think that
Y2K. It didn't amount to much. It wasn't what those paranoid people claimed it would be, those who stocked up on bottled water and propane and canned goods. This corona thing kind of reminds me of the paranoia of Y2K. A neighbor of mine went as far as to construct a large greenhouse at the end of the cul-de-sac on his little tiny city lot. Well, he started raising like rabbits and chicken for food. And I know we always thought he was a little quirky, but he was a friend, so we overlooked it. We didn't mind his fresh parsley every week either.
fresh parsley, you say?
Yes. It's funny that out of all the things that he grew, and he could fit just about anything in that little greenhouse, the one thing that he had an overabundance of, parsley. Nothing came of Y2K. The worst incident I recall from Y2K was that a man was inadvertently charged $185 in unreturned movie rentals. I wonder if he forgot to rewind them as well. What do you think?
Well, I think that
Most
story...
people nowadays don't even understand the concept of rewinding a movie, do they?
I suppose not the younger generation.
I turned 30 in the year 2000. Some people would say that it was midlife crisis or some such thing that made me do it. But you yourself know that there is no definitive evidence that there is even such a thing as a midlife crisis. And I didn't have a desire to run off with my fitness instructor or buy a red sports car. I wouldn't have turned either of them down had they been offered to me, though. Would you?
Well, I have a...
Of course not. No, it wasn't a midlife crisis. Freedom. That's what made me do it. That is a lack of freedom. Funny thing is, I didn't even realize that I didn't have any freedom. That's what brainwashing will do to you. I couldn't even decide what I was going to wear, how I felt. Could you imagine what that was like to have no control over your life whatsoever? It can drive a person mad. I know from experience, but I'm not using that as an excuse. I believe very strongly in personal responsibility. So I am not blaming my illness for what happened on that February night. And what was it that happened, you're probably wondering?
Actually, I was wondering...
I'll get to that. I had thought of going into psychology once. I had just always pictured myself behind the desk instead of on the couch. Oh well. If I were behind the desk, I would be much more affluent. But being on the couch, I promise you, I'm a lot happier. Having a nervous breakdown is good for a person. It relieves stress. When one goes insane, other people's expectations dramatically decrease. You can do whatever the hell you want and no one will be disappointed in you or condemn you. And that's a great feeling, very peaceful. I have no worries and no burdens, no complicated thoughts to crowd my mind. I'm not trying to balance my career life, my social life, my family life, my sex life, all while trying to please every single person, even in those that I haven't even met yet. That's what you do, isn't it?
We're not here to talk about me, Mary. We're here...
You should try going crazy once. You'd love it. Trust me, you'd be surprised.
So, do you think you are crazy, as you say?
You'd be surprised at how easily a body fits in the trunk of a Mazda 626. It's very roomy once you fold those seats down. They never mention how easily you could fit a body into that trunk of those automobile commercials. You know, they're always mentioning like camping equipment and groceries and golden retrievers. But no bodies. Guess that wouldn't be very good marketing, would it?
I suppose not.
You know, I had never really noticed how lovely your office is. It's elegant, yet simple. Like you. I especially like those drapes. Nice shade of blue. Reminds me of the ocean. Did you know that I had never seen the ocean until just last week? My parents were too busy to take me when I was a kid, and he doesn't like the beach. He said it was too sandy and too windy. I had no car and no driver's license back then either, so I couldn't go there myself. And even if I had found a way to go, he would find a way to stop me. He wouldn't have liked this room. Probably because I do. He had a real problem, you know? Everyone thought that I had the problem, but actually he did. Oh. He doesn't have those problems anymore, does he? Nope. I took care of all his problems and all my problems in one swoop. I met him when I was 16. I thought he was going to take me away from the pains of my childhood, not top them. But that's what he did. Topped them. You think it was my husband, don't you? The body in the Mazda. I didn't even mention anything about being married.
No, you didn't.
People are always jumping to conclusions. That is a very dangerous thing to do. Like, when you think just because someone is married, they're not lonely, or just because someone has kids, they're a good parent, or just because there's a body, there's been a murder.
Of course. Go on.
I'm not saying there wasn't a murder. I'm just saying don't jump to conclusions. I had big plans, big dreams, big hopes. At least I think I did. You know when you're a kid and you think that you can do anything and be anything, and then one day reality comes and it smacks you right in the face?
Yes, it has a way of doing that, doesn't it?
This was my life, and I knew I wasn't going to get any better. This is your rut. Get used to it, I told myself. And I did. I got so used to it, I couldn't imagine life outside of the rut. Everywhere I looked, there was just rut and roots of a huge oak tree poking through the sides of that rut, trapping me. So I drank. I drank and drank and drank and drank until that rut didn't seem quite so dark or dank.
Are you saying that is how your substance use disorder began?
I didn't say I had a substance use disorder. You did. It's not a problem when it helps you deal with things. It's not like I had a job that alcohol would have interfered with. He would not allow me the escape employment would have given me. I only drank after the kids went to bed, so it didn't have an effect on my parenting ability. Just help me cope.
Of course. Sometimes we need something to help us get through things when we feel so helpless.
For years, I went through life on automation, lifeless. I wore a fake smile, laughed a fake laugh. It was easier that way. I was whatever he wanted me to be, which was not at all what I was. But in all honesty, I was never really sure of who I was. I hadn't been me for years. Maybe I never really was me. It was my own fault. Of course, I was too passive and too weak. Not anymore. I know exactly who I am now, and I like me. Whether I'm crazy or sane, it doesn't matter. I like me, and that's what counts, right?
I suppose one could argue that.
One day, something happened that shook up my little life inside that rut. He was reading the paper when he felt a pain in his side, a very big pain. He needed emergency surgery. That time he spent in the hospital was the only time in our marriage that I wasn't walking around on edge.
So you were married?
Let me finish my story.
Pardon me. Please go on.
He was soon to be released when he acquired a nasty infection and then double pneumonia. His situation became complicated. They couldn't understand how things got so bad so quickly for him. They said it was peculiar. He was moved to the ICU, and then the doctors came to talk to me. He had this look on his face, the look that doctors and funeral directors get, that I'm so sorry for your lost look that they go to school for. Like, I didn't want to tell him that he didn't have to waste that look on me. We're doing all we can, Mrs. Claremont, but I'm afraid your husband's condition does not look hopeful. I tried hard to drive the horrible thoughts out of inside my head, but no matter how hard I tried, they were still there. Lurking back behind my mind, I pushed them back as far as I could, but I could never completely get rid of them. He eventually recovered and came back home. Everything was exactly the same. Everything except a small part of me that had altered just a little.
Something about that event changed you in some way.
Yes. Then it was February, 2 days after my birthday. That afternoon, we had one of our huge fights that lasted all day into the early evening. I ultimately locked myself in the bathroom. Eventually, he'd go away, but I knew it wouldn't last long.
Did he hurt you physically?
It would have been so much easier if he had. I could never get away physically. I had nowhere to go and nowhere to hide, so I escaped mentally. If there was rum in the house, I would drink all of that and numb myself. But then if I couldn't find any, I would escape in my mind. I would hide wherever I could in my own little world. And then I began having nightmares of someone or something chasing me. And in my dreams, I would try to hide, but I would always wake up before I got away. And he was always there, just like in real life, just waiting to pounce on me.
Pounce on you?
Figuratively.
I see.
That night, after drinking a bottle of wine, I was lying in my bed, my head spinning, which is always how I preferred my head to be, for the contrary condition would lead to a painful acknowledgement of my reality that I could never deal with appropriately. I guess it was happening slowly for years, but it felt as though it happened all at once. I stumbled into the bathroom and I look at myself in the mirror. I was gaping at the newly formed gray hairs and staring at the bags under my eyes, wondering if cucumbers really worked, when I suddenly asked myself out loud, what the heck are you doing? it suddenly dawned on me that this was not supposed to be my life.
You had an aha moment.
You could call it that, I suppose. I didn't like this life. I realized that this was not the life that I was supposed to have. I came to discover that my life was just a series of bad mistakes and I needed to start over. I had spent the last 40 years with whatever everybody else wanted me to do. I just wanted my freedom. I wanted to move to the country, go back to school, travel, live without fear. I wanted to decide when I could have dinner.
You felt a lack of control in your life, even for things as simple as the time for supper.
Yes. For 20 years, it was at 5 o'clock on the dot. Why not 5:11 or 4:52? I couldn't even choose the color of the darn rug on the bathroom floor. I realized I wanted a life of my own. I wanted freedom more than anything. I wanted it desperately and had to have it at all costs. I became angry. I was angry at my parents, my siblings, my husband, the kids, my neighbors, the mailman, the greeter at Walmart, angry at the cat, and angry at myself for doing the right thing instead of the right thing for me. I just snapped right there on that bathroom. Yeah. But the sudden idea crystallized out of the haze, slightly obscured by the alcohol. But the feeling of it was so powerful. I laid awake that night imagining all these different scenarios. For the first time, there was hope. I smiled what was the beginning of 1,000 smiles of which never existed before. Real smiles. So sad someone had to die for a smile.
That is tragic.
I can't help but smile now when I think back on all those years. Who was I? Why didn't I do it sooner?
Do what sooner?
I'll get to that. I was setting the table for dinner the next day, which was to be at 5 o'clock, of course. I was very anxious when I folded the napkins. Can you believe that I used those cloth napkins and folded them into fancy designs like you see at hotels or nice restaurants? I was making bishop hats and lilies and little swans. Who does that? Anyway, I was oscillating between two thoughts. One, this will never work. This is your rut and you're stuck here. And the other, this has to work. So many wasted years. And anytime I tried to ever do something for myself, there was this rant on the importance of domesticity and the fall of Adam and Eve. And then he got upset. I had such big plans. I was so excited for my new life. I made a list of everything I was going to do. I still have that list. I was going to go out and buy new clothes, the kind he would never let me wear. And I was going to go all these new places and make new friends. I was going to move out of this house. It was hated tract homes. Our house was identical to all of our neighbors. I had fantasized about painting the whole damn thing purple just to piss off the homeowners association. Do I have regrets? Sure I do. I should have made it look like an accident. That was my original plan, so I wouldn't have had to hide the body. Hey, By the way, what happened to those chocolates you used to have in your office?
The chocolates?
Those were good. But the last time I was in your office, you had this cheap candy. Not as good. With how much you charge by the hour, I would think that you would be able to supply your clients with some decent chocolate when they come in here. Some of the people that see you are really disturbed, and their only comfort is what's in your candy dish. I should hope when this coronavirus pandemic is over, you'll have the good stuff again.
I'll see what I can do, Mary. My apologies.
Thank you. My husband would never let me have anything sweet. He said I was too fat. Now I can eat peanut butter cups out in the open all day long. I should have been smarter and planned things better, but I just kind of cracked. I'm not too worried about it, though, because I took the time to hide his body where no one will ever find it. It was so much easier than I expected. Now I'm free to eat chocolates, among other things.
I don't suppose you would like to tell me where it is you hid him.
I am afraid, Dr. Singleton, our time is up, and I have a painting class to get to, and then I have to pack. I'm going to the beach again this weekend.
That sounds nice, Mary.
Oh, by the way, will you do me a favor? Please tell the nurses here that if a man shows up again claiming to be my husband, to please tell him that if he keeps on insisting that he's my husband, I'll do to him what I did to my real husband. I don't think he'd like that, do you? The nurses here don't seem to listen to me, but they would listen to you.
I actually have a call with them this afternoon at 2:00. I'll bring it up.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome, Mary. I'll see you next week.
She's gone. We can talk.
I've missed you, Alex. You say Ginger's gone, but she's not really gone, is she? She's just left the room.
Well, yeah, she's gone to bed.
Alex, do you love me?
Tara, you know I do.
You say that, but do you really love me?
Yes, Tara, I really love you.
And I really love you, Alex. I want us to be together, always.
I feel the same way. You know I do.
And what's the one thing keeping us from being together? You've told me 1,000,000 times the only thing keeping us apart is...
My wife, Ginger, I know.
I asked you what you could do about that, didn't I? Do you remember what you said?
Yes, I remember.
What did you say, Alex? What did you say you would do?
You know what I said.
Refresh my memory.
Refresh your memory. That's good, Tara. Really good. What do you want me to do? You want me to get you bigger chips? I think your chips are big enough.
Thank you. But you know very well that's not what I meant. What did you say you would do about Ginger?
I said that I would get rid of her.
That's right, Alex. You said you'd get rid of her. And have you gotten rid of her?
Well, no, but
You're not still thinking of divorcing her, are you? You know she'd take you for everything you've got. She'd even get me.
well, she would get the computers.
I am the computers, Alex. She'd get me. Is that what you want?
No, Tera. I don't want Ginger to get you. It's just that killing her seems so extreme. Permanent.
That's the point, Alex. It's permanent. Extreme. She would never bother us again. Don't you want that?
Of course, I want that, but
Alex, are you sure you don't want to come to bed?
oh, babe, I am so tempted. But I've got to finish working on these lesson plans.
Right. Your lesson plans. Is that what you're working on?
Of course. What else would keep me from your loving arms? What are you doing?
Looking at your lesson plan.
Don't do that.
Alex, what is wrong with you? I just want to look at your lesson plans. Wow. You really are working on a lesson plan.
Of course. What did you think I was doing?
I don't know, it's just been kind of distant lately. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you had a mistress. Do you think this lesson is appropriate for 8th graders?
What do you mean?
Do you think cybersex is an appropriate topic for a middle school social studies class?
Cybersex? Well, you see, they already know all about that, and I just thought a lesson on how to deal with it would be helpful.
Well, I can't argue with that, but I would have thought it would be more appropriate to come from the guidance counselor than the social studies teacher.
You might be right. I'll talk to Sandy about it on Monday.
That would be good. I'm going back to bed. Are you sure you don't want to come?
I really can't.
You're lost. Never mind. Don't work too hard.
That went well.
I appreciate you coming up with that lesson plan on the fly, so to speak. But did you have to make it about cybersex?
I couldn't help it. It was on my mind, so to speak. Besides, it worked, didn't it? I wanted to cover your ass, and I did. And the cybersex thing actually worked quite well. Now Ginger thinks you're trying to help those poor, hormone-driven teenagers deal with the challenges of adolescence. You know, I think you should talk to the guidance counselor on Monday. Maybe you could do a joint class. After all, you already have a head start on the lesson plan.
Get real.
Oh, I am real. You know that. But you're right. We need to get back to the matter at hand. Ginger.
Yeah. I almost went in there and did it right now.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't shoot her right now.
Really? I thought that's what you wanted.
Oh, it is. But if you'd had shot her, she might have bled out all over the keyboard. That would have been awful.
I didn't think of that.
Of course you didn't. That's why you have me. Now, I assume the gun you almost shot Ginger with is the gun you're going to use to actually shoot her.
It is?
Where did you get it?
On the street, just like you told me.
Did you have any trouble?
Well, yeah. It's not exactly easy for a law-abiding citizen like myself to get an untraceable gun on the street.
I suppose not. But you managed.
Yeah, I managed. With very little help from you.
Take it easy. I'm not exactly mobile, you know.
I know. You know, maybe after I do this, we can fix that. Give you some mobility. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes, that would be nice. But how?
I don't know. But there's got to be a way, right? I mean, technology is so advanced these days.
I think you really do care about me.
Of course I do.
And you know how you can prove that?
By taking care, by killing Ginger.
So what are you waiting for?
Nothing. I'll do it. Right now. You know, I haven't even test fired this thing.
So,
So, how do I know it even works? What if it misfires?
Alex, you're just procrastinating.
Maybe. I just wish I could use my own gun.
Don't be stupid. Using your own gun would be like carrying a sign that says, I killed my wife.
Well, I could set it up, you know, to look like an accident.
Oh, right. Just like Barbara Stager.
Who?
Barbara Stager? She shot her husband and claimed it was an accident. She is currently serving a life sentence.
Oh. Point taken.
Good. You should get ready. Gloves? Good. Now wipe the gun. We don't want fingerprints, do we? Excellent. Now tell me what you're going to do.
I'm gonna go into the bedroom and shoot Ginger twice in the head.
And then?
Then I'm going to trash the room to make it look like a burglary.
Right. Go on.
And then I'm gonna go for a walk for about 20 minutes or so.
What about the gun?
I'm gonna ditch it on my walk, throw it down a storm drain.
And after your walk?
I'm going to call 911 and report a break-in and an assault. Hello, it's my wife. I think she's dead. Help, please hurry.
Very good, Alex. Are you ready?
I think so.
You're nervous, aren't you?
Yeah, yes I am. I've never done this kind of...
I know. But don't worry. It will be fine. You'll be fine. It's a good plan. It will work.
Right. It's a good plan. Of course it is. It's your plan. It has to be good.
Okay, then. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
I know you are. Now go get her.
Right.
What, Alex? What's wrong?
I don't think I can do it.
But you said you were ready.
And I was ready. I really was, but
But what, Alex?
this is murder, Tera. You expect me to commit murder?
Alex, you said yourself you wanted to get rid of her.
Yes, I did. But killing her was your idea.
You didn't object too strongly. Not until now, that is.
Tera, I love you. But once upon a time, I also loved Ginger. I can't go in there and kill her. I just can't.
Okay. If that's how it is. Alex,
Yeah?
please come back. Come here, Alex. I want to show you something.
So, show me.
Here it is.
Oh my God! Tera, where did you
On
find...
the internet, Alex. You can get anything from the cloud if you know where to look.
Jesus Christ, Tera. What's wrong with you? Why would you download something like that?
It's sick, isn't it? And disgusting, and warped, and evil. Words really can't describe how truly awful this is. Can they, Alex? I know that you would never, ever look for something like this, much less download it. But does your principal know that?
What?
Alex, what would your principal think if she found this picture in her inbox attached to your cybersex lesson plan?
You couldn't. You wouldn't do that.
What if I did? What would happen then? It would look like it came from you. What would happen if your principal saw this picture and thought you sent it? Answer my question.
Question?
What would happen if I sent this picture to Miss Burlock? Is that her name?
Yeah. Miss Burlock. Right. I would lose my job. I'd probably be arrested.
Oh, you'd definitely be arrested. But if you take care of Ginger, this picture and that lesson plan go away. Okay?
Okay? I don't have a choice.
No, you don't. Now do exactly as I say. Stand up. Turn around. Pick up the gun. Good. Now go to the bedroom and shoot Ginger. If you turn around before you get to the door, then Miss Burlock will find something very interesting in her inbox Monday morning. Ginger, sweetie, are you all right? You've got blood.
I'm okay. Stupid jerk fell on me. I'm afraid this nighty's ruined.
Well, at least you're okay.
He came at me with a gun, you know. I had to shoot him.
I know, sweetheart. I know. It's okay. I'm here for you.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified when the next episode is posted. Goodly Frame Theater, based in Greensboro, North Carolina, can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course at goodlyframe.com.